Alright, welcome to another episode of Off the Bench Podcast, man. This is your host, Otis. And we're gonna get right into this video. We ain't gonna waste no time because the NBA playoffs has officially kicked off. It's officially started. Playoff basketball is back, baby. So we back in underway. Let's go get in right into this episode, man. Before we gonna get into that, we had 4 games yesterday, 4 elite games. We had 2 Eastern Conference teams, 2 Western Conference teams, 12, 2:30, 5, 7 o'clock. We had the 76, who played first? We had the Magic and the Cavaliers at 12 o'clock, 2:30 with the Timberwolves Suns, which was a good game. 76ers Knicks was a good game as well that came on after that. Then the last game, the Showtime game of the night, was the Nuggets and Lakers. But before we dive into that, I give my reaction on, the first day and how I think everything went from each game, things of that nature. I need y'all to go ahead, leave a like, comment, subscribe to this episode. Make sure y'all tell a friend and tell a friend, just to make sure they can get, just where they can just come in and just check it out. It might not be for them, but at least just get them, put their foot in the door to at least, give them that type of access to know, hey, this podcast right here, I suggest it, just to suggest that podcast, just to, help me get out there. Everything is appreciated, Yeah, you can also get this episode on all audio platforms. I'm still been working on trying to get that, but I think this episode, it should be up on Spotify, Apple Music, all audio streaming platforms. It should be on there as well as YouTube. And make sure when y'all go on YouTube, you check me out. Make sure y'all hit that subscribe button, man. We almost at 500 subscribers, man. We almost there. I just need a little bit more help. So y'all help me get to there. But let's go ahead and dive in, man. Like I said, the first day of the playoffs, this episode just going to be more so just, reacted to the first day and how I think everything went from game to game to game. So it was 4 games on yesterday. And we're going to start off with the Cavaliers and Magic. And, the Cavaliers, they end up taking a 1-0 lead yesterday. They do got home court advantage in this series with them being a 4th seed, the Orlando Magic being a 5th seed. And well, Orlando, with this being their first time having having a playoff experience, this their first time being in the playoffs in, the last 4 or 5 years. It was the type of team and the type of unit that they got. With them being so young, majority of their team is so young. I think this might be, them or OKC might be the youngest team in the playoffs right there. And, one of the main reasons why a lot of people, don't like to bet against veteran teams whenever they going against younger teams, because they don't have that type of experience. They don't know that know-how. They don't know how to win games. They don't know that type of atmosphere. They don't know what come with, playoff basketball. You kind of seen that yesterday with the Magic. Paolo Banchero, it was his first ever playoff game yesterday. He did fairly well. But I just think it was his teammates, Faraz Wagner, he looked a little bit tight. Everybody else looked a little bit tight. And, playoffs is all about adjustment. And it's all about, mismatches and matchup based on how you're going to attack each match and so forth and so forth. So with that being said, the Cavaliers, they basically just made the Orlando Magic, a 3-point shooting team, a perimeter shooting team, which they haven't been good all season at doing, being able to shoot the perimeter 3 ball well enough, efficient enough to make somebody, respect them or honor that all, through all 4 quarters, or be able to, change up their game plan a little bit. And I think that's going to be a negative on this series. I think this series will end in 5 games with the Cavaliers winning in 5 games. Just simply because, like the Orlando Magic, they just don't have the type of personnel to be able to match up with the Cleveland Cavaliers. They kind of like to run a traditional 2 big man lineup with Mobley and Allen in their front court. That's a lot to deal with when you got Paolo Banchero who like to get downhill, and when you got Franz Wagner who like to get downhill. You just got so many guys, in Orlando Magic, where their game is predicated on trying to get downhill, trying to get into their paint, get 2 feet in the paint, and then making plays up out of there once they get into the paint, freeing up everybody else. But with the lack of 3-point shooting that the Orlando Magic possess, you really can't even be able to make the Cleveland Cavaliers defense a little bit honest, or keep them at bay, or make them, change it up a little bit to make them think twice about this. No, the Cleveland Cavaliers, they're gonna be living all series with them be able to shoot with the Orlando Magic shooting 3, shooting from the perimeter. As long as they don't have Paolo Banchero getting whatever he wants inside the paint, Franz Wagner just walking into the paint, Jalen Suggs, and so forth and so forth. Their whole entire game plan is basically just keep them out the paint. We'll live with them shooting the 3 ball. Which Orlando Magic didn't shoot the 3 ball very well. Neither did the Cavaliers in that sense. You know, they both shot the ball around like 20% yesterday, both teams. But you know, when you got a Cleveland Cavaliers team who got a type of prolific scorer, a type of playoff performer, Donovan Mitchell, and you got guys around him that can kind of, I won't gonna say they can fully complement his game, but you know that when you got other star players that can also put the ball on the floor, will do different things, you know, a number of different things that can help the team win and put in playoff games. I just think that's where the experience come in at, you know. I definitely did like what I seen from Paolo in his first game, in his first playoff game. You know, a lot of that's what you want to see from, you know, young players once they get their first taste of playoff basketball. You want to see how they, you know, fare up and how they well off. And I do understand this is just game one. You know, this still is a long series. You don't know what can happen. This is playoff basketball. So with that being said, you'll never know when you know, game two he might come out real more aggressive, more hot, you know, but you never know. The defense for the Cavaliers might shake up. They might start sending doubles at them, or you know, making somebody else beat them besides Paolo and do things like that. And that's what the Magic, you know, they haven't, you know, seen yet. They haven't learned yet. They don't know the type of wherewithal that come with the playoffs, the type of strategic strategy, the type of the physicality they come with, the speed that come with it. And you can definitely see it from yesterday's game from the Orlando Magic outside of Paolo. You can definitely see guys getting a little bit more tight, not shooting the same type of shots that they were shooting in the regular season, not handling the ball with the same type of careness of trying to take care of the ball as they was in the regular season. That same type of defensive tenacity as they was in the regular season. It's not translating. And that's what you need to be able to win playoff games, is to be able to translate some of the success that you had in the regular season and try to translate that to the playoffs. Now, if I'm the Orlando Magic, you know, what I would try to do, you know, I know they understand that Jalen Suggs, he gonna make an all defensive team and do all that, but it's playoff time. You can't live and die by just having Jalen Suggs just, you know, hoping and praying that he'd be able to lock down Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell, he's an experienced playoff performer. You know, he's been here before. He didn't have big time playoff games where he didn't showed up and showed what he can do. So I just don't think that's the key right now. If they want to be able to make this game some type of series, what I would do, I would blitz every ball screen that's including Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. I would blitz them and have them make plays out of the pick and roll all series long. You know, be able to kick it out to the Karis LeVert, the Isaac Okoro, see if they would be able to make jump shots. You know, you don't want to play into the Cavaliers' hands. Is basically what I'm saying for the Orlando Magic. You know, because what I seen yesterday, this might be a quick and easy series. A quick and easy series for the Cavaliers. I know I've been talking about the Magic this whole, but you know, really too much to say about the Cavaliers. I did like their performance a little bit. You know, they dominate the glass, which, you know, in playoff basketball, it come down to the dudes. It come down to your premier guy. Obviously, the Cavaliers' premier guys like Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, you know. But you got to take care of the ball. You got to limit your turnovers, limit your mistakes, make free throws, and rebound. You do those three things, you're going to be in a very good position to be able to, if you do two of the three things, you're going to be in a very good position to win that playoff series or win a playoff ball game. If you do three of the three things, you're going to be in an excellent, terrific position. Because those are the little things that you need in playoff game that, you know, some people might even overlook. You know, so yeah, Orlando Magic, Cleveland Cavaliers, they come back on, I want to say, tomorrow. Yeah, I think it's tomorrow. So Cavaliers, they got a 1-0 lead on the Orlando Magic. You know, that game was kind of boring. I'm not gonna lie. You know, that game almost put me to sleep. So I really don't have too much to say on that game. But this next game, Minnesota, they take a 1-0 lead against the Phoenix Suns, my team. And I'm not gonna lie. It's gonna be a dog fight. It's gonna be one of those series. I'm not gonna. It don't matter who the Phoenix Suns kind of play. You know, I feel like their games be a little bit more competitive, a little bit more, you know, up to my speed with the shot making. Just it be high level basketball whenever the Phoenix Suns play playoffs. Happened like that last year. You know, you kind of seeing it this year in that first game with the Timberwolves. But Ant a problem. He gonna be a problem for years to come. He here to stay. And hey, you know, the type of game that he had yesterday, he put the league on notice that, hey, in 2-3 years, when a LeBron James, to Stephen Curry, to Kevin Durant, when these guys out the league, this shit here is mine. I'm not playing with y'all dudes. This shit here is mine. The league is mine. He coming and take it by storm, man. Anthony Edwards, he's a 3-level scorer. He played with a high motor, high intensity. You know, he defends at a high level. He did play the game the right way. You know, one thing that I will say, if he can cut down on the turnovers, trying to stop forcing the issue so much. What I do understand to a certain extent, because he is what what makes the Timberwolves offense go. They go as Anthony Edwards go, so he could be having the pressure issue a little bit more than he should. But you know, the Timberwolves, they won this game yesterday solely off their size. You know, that's what kind of gonna make this matchup a little bit different for the Phoenix Suns. Phoenix Suns is a little bit more smaller, like a team that like to get up and down, but their game is more predicated on half-court sets and things like that. Whereas you got, you know, a Minnesota Timberwolves team who's kind of more long, physical, more defensive oriented, you know, where kind of their styles is opposite. That's why I think it's gonna be a good collision, a good 6-game series. And I understand that the Timberwolves won yesterday. They did win in dominating fashion, winning by 20 plus points. But if you just watch the game and not just looking at the box score, you can understand and see that the game was won by rebounding. You know, the Minnesota Timberwolves, they killed the Phoenix Suns on the glass. I think they was a plus 20 plus something in the glass. There was a plus 20 something points in the paint. You know, Phoenix Suns, they committed 11 or 12 turnovers, which ended resulting into the Timberwolves like 20 some points off turnovers, which the Phoenix Suns, you know, they lost in that category. They lost in every intangible category that you can lose. You know, they lost in fast break points. They lost that game in fast break points. I feel like the Timberwolves wanted this game won a little bit more than the Phoenix Suns did. You know, they was more to the 50-50 balls, second chance points. They also killed the Phoenix Suns on second chance rebound, second chance points. The Phoenix Suns did not have a second chance point all game. And I ain't gonna lie, I'm glad I said this because, hey, Frank Vogel, and at some point in time, you got to stop being so damn stubborn. I understand this is what you've been rolling with all season. But goddamn, this is the playoffs, man. This is my team. This KD we talking about. You got to be able to put your team, your best players in the best position to see if you want to be able to extend this past this round, man. Get it through your ass out the field! Out the court, nigga! Why is he playing? Why is he playing, man? Eubanks should not see the court the rest of this series. Put that in there. Put Bol in there. Get Eric Gordon old ass off the court because he been pissing me off. He made about 4 or 5 layups yesterday. He airballing. He ain't doing nothing but fouling, shooting up bricks, sabotaging the goddamn game. Get him off the court. Put Royce in the star lineup. I like the way the Royce O'Neal played. That's the type of player, the type of connector that you need into these playoffs. The type of role player that can be able to do switch RV night type of things. He can do everything. He can pass. He can rebound. He can shoot 3. He defend 1 through 5, 1 through 4. Whatever you need be. He is that type of connector, that type of switch army knife that you need come playoff time. He is the type of role player to elevate his game, who's not afraid of the moment, who's been here before, who done been on, you know, number 1 seeds, Utah Jazz when they've been in the semis, conference finals, and doing all these different things of that nature. He's a player that you can trust. Frank Vogel, trust him. Grayson Allen, he didn't have the best games yesterday. You understand that the Timberwolves understood that coming into this game, you know, they did lose the previous 3 games in the regular season, you know, by a margin of at least 20 points. So they can't, obviously they was going to come in with a different mentality, a different intensity to their game, a different level. They're going to come with a more amp pressure than what you didn't seen from, than what you didn't got from the Minnesota Timberwolves in that series, in the matchup in the regular season. This is the playoffs now. And you got to take into account the playoff home court advantage and all those things. How all this can play a factor into, you know, the way that the series can shift and turn and do all these things, the type of dynamics. But I definitely think the Phoenix Suns, they are in a good position. You know, game 1, like I said, they more so beat themselves on effort, the intangibles, the small things. Like I said, those are the things that can win or lose you playoff games / playoff series. You have to rebound in basketball. You got to put a butt on somebody, box out, especially with a big, long, athletic team like that with a Rudy Gobert, Karl Anthony Towns. They kind of run at two traditional bigs too as well. Then whenever Rudy slide out, they still have Cat and Nas. So they kind of run a two big thing where they can stay big and stay long, pause throughout the whole game and kind of force you to shoot over the top, keep you outside, keep you out the paint and things like that. And I think the Timberwolves, they executed their game plan basically. Whenever they put him in whenever they put Book in ball screen situation, they basically gave him a hard hedge, a slight double where he wasn't able to get into his mid range, get into his pull up. He definitely had a hard time yesterday. He struggled yesterday, just to be able to get up shot attempts, let alone making shots. He was having trouble getting up shot attempts, finding the right shots. He wasn't trying to force nothing, which I kind of I applaud him for not trying to force the game. KD did have it cooking early. But Book, these the type of game where you need your best players to be your best player. This is no time for next game, this and that. This is not the regular season no more. This is playoffs. Every game count, every possession matters. Everything matters when it comes down to the playoffs because one play, one game can cost you the whole series. So, the Minnesota, they came out, hit first. They did what they supposed to. They won the first game at home by a comfortable margin. Now it's up to the Phoenix Suns to come out here and respond, to make their adjustments. Now you seen how the Timberwolves gonna play. You seen the physicality that they bring, that they coming with, the type of heat that they coming with, the type of defensive pressure that they rolling with as well. So now it's up on you to be able to come back and respond in game 2, to be able to try to take a game, on their home court, to be able to go back in game 3 at least 1-1, feeling good about yourself. But you need your best players to be your best player. You need Book to be more aggressive. You got to understand to put Book in more positions and better positions to score the ball. I think this series is not a series where you need to have Devin Booker being a point guard. I'm sorry, but when you have a defender like Jay McDaniels, when he handling you, being that 6'9", 6'8" frame of his with them long arms, being that type of, and he's going to make an all-defensive team. He's not going to make it easy. I told you, this is playoff basketball where the fouls not going to be called as they was in regular season. The defense can be able to be a little bit more aggressive. They can get into you a little bit more. So the shots that Devin Booker was accustomed to getting in the regular season, he's not going to be able to get those off in the type of offense and the type of style that he was getting playing his point guard role. Steady having to come off these ball screens. You got to give him out the ball, getting him in movements, where he can catch the ball on the catch and make a play out of there. I think you got to slide that Bradley Beal to that point guard role this series. You obviously gonna have Mike Conley guard defending him, doing things like that. They did start off with Anthony Edwards on. I did like what Timberwolves did with starting off Anthony Edwards on Bradley Beal. You had Jay McDaniels on Book. Then you had Karl Anthony Towns on KD, which KD was frying their ass beginning of the game. Really all game. They couldn't do nothing with KD. But you just need somebody to come along for the ride. Obviously, like a lot of people want to look at the scoreboard and do all those things. Like I said, if the Phoenix Suns were just to rebound, don't turn over the ball and make free throws yesterday, the end of the game, the final box score would have looked way different. That's where they lost the game. But hey, it's on the Phoenix Suns to respond, which I think they will do. Next game, I definitely think Book will gonna have a bounce back game with the type of shitty performance that he had, which is unacceptable. And he definitely know that it's not winning basketball. If they plan on winning the championship or getting past this series, what he did yesterday is not gonna be able to cut it. And so, also before I move on, hey man, the bigs for the Phoenix Suns, they gonna piss me off. Eubanks already said what I said. He don't need to touch the damn floor. Put Ball in there to be able to match the Timberwolves with their type of size, and might not be the physicality, but when you got that size and length out there who can disrupt shots, who will be able to shoot the three as he showed you, spread the floor, do all these different things. When you facing a team like the Timberwolves who run traditional bigs, you got wing players with size and length. You need to be able to match up with that as well, with the lack of wings that the Phoenix Suns already possess. So play ball. EG not giving you no type of positive minutes. Play ball. That young. He's better than he's way better than Eubanks. He can play in the short roll. He can pass out the pick and roll. He's a better finisher. Eubanks didn't do shit yesterday. He played, man. That man played at least 20 minutes. I didn't see that man get a rebound, a block shot, a basket. The hell you doing, bruh? Get him out the game. Yusuf Nurkic. Your ass had 4 rebounds. I seen on Twitter you were talking about before the game. The refs let you be physical and all that shit. So the refs know that. Every time I look up, your motherfucking ass getting on the damn ground. You letting Carlton Towns and Rudy Gobert rough you up. Man, be a man. And man, excuse me, but Phoenix Suns, this is my team, and I ain't gonna lie. Yesterday, man, they was with all that little boy shit, man. Outside of KD, Royce O'Neal, nobody showed up for work. Bradley Beal, he played solid. We need more. That's not gonna cut it. This is playoff basketball. You told me it's time. You want to win a ring. It's time, brother. It's time. It's time. But shit you did yesterday not gonna cut it. You steady worrying about all these debut needs, damn book one. Worrying about winning ball games. Goddamn. Shit. Moving on, bro. To the third game. We had the Knicks and the 76ers, what was a good Eastern Conference showdown. The Knicks ended up pulling this game away, which I do got the Knicks winning this series for the simple fact that Joel Embiid, he's not 100%. He out there putting his life on the line, which I love it. You know, when you put your life on the line, that shows a lot about your character. Show how bad you really want it. You're not being a selfish player, but at the same time, Nick Nurse, I think you got to be able to, you know, save your players from themselves. You know, when Joel Embiid threw that alley off the backboard, you can see the look in his eyes. He was terrified. You know, you still got the knee you still got the knee brace on, playing through that. You know, it's always seemed like Joel is always playing through an injury come playoff time, and you know, it's just sad to say that, sad to see, which that have a lot to do with the lack of postseason success that Joel has seen over the last couple years, because due to his health problems. You know, he got to be able to be on the court to be able to be efficient and effective and things like that. But you know, Tyrese Maxey, he came to hoop. Ultimately, just wasn't enough to get over the hump from the New York Knicks. Jalen Brunson, he didn't play extremely well, but he was able to get the job done. It's just that the New York Knicks, the way they play together. They kind of play like a college team, which in a sense, you know, you got Jaylen Brown, you got Josh Hart, you got Dante DiVincenzo. They all went to college together, so they know how one another play with each other. You know, they got that type of chemistry. I think just Tibbs, you know, the type of identity that the New York Knicks, the type of brand of basketball they want to play. They want to play a physical, sound, hard-nosed type of game. I like the OG want to know, but he kind of fit their personnel even more better. You know, once they acquiring him from the trade deadline. You know, but Josh Hart, he was kind of the X factor of this game. You know, doing all the little things, being the ultimate role player, scoring 20 points, giving them 10 plus rebounds. Josh Hart is probably the best rebounder under 6'5", goddamn. Every time I look up, he got more rebounds than Bam. Bam 16. He's 6'5". Every time I look up, this man got 15 rebounds, 12 rebounds, 14 rebounds. Shit. Josh Hart, that boy be out there rebounding that thing, but hey, this gonna be a good series. You know, that game did come down to a wire. I think it was 101, 104. The Knicks end up winning. You know, I think, you know, the common theme, what I got from the first day of the playoffs is the road. Everybody that all the home teams won yesterday. You know, the Cavaliers, they won their first game. They won game one, and they was at home. Timberwolves, they was at home. New York Knicks, at home. And what I'm finna get into next game, the Denver Nuggets, they won their first game, taking the 1-0 series. They was at home as well. So everybody from day one playoff games, everybody took care of being and did what they were supposed to do. They protecting home court. Every home team won the first game on the first day, which we got more playoff basketball later on today. I'm gonna make sure I get this podcast episode out to y'all before the games come on, where y'all can be able to watch that or come over whenever the game's over, so forth, however you want to do it. But I don't know, man. Just The Eastern Conference playoff matchups is night and day from Western Conference playoff matchups. I can't even lie, cause like when I'm trying to think of like what to say about these games, you know, the first game, the Cavaliers and the Magic, you know, really wasn't too much to say, really wasn't too much going on. You know, you seen the low scoring output the Magic had put on display, the lack of scoring ability, the lack of shooting ability. You just seen how basically everybody outside of Paolo was a deer in headlights in game 1 for the Orlando Magic. I just pray and hope that don't be the case, you know, the whole series, because they are a young team. But we on the 76ers and Knicks. I really don't know too much to say. I mean, if Embiid he played decently, you know, he still was a man amongst boys. Cause that's just who he is. Now, if Joel Embiid was 100%, if he how he was before he got injured, when he was scoring 40, 30, 50 points in 3 quarters, hey man, it would have got real ugly for the Knicks. But I definitely think this still gonna be a 6-7 game series, because I definitely think these two teams that collide well, they kind of match each other's. Both teams kind of play into each other's hands in the sense like both teams, you know, like I said, this is the Eastern Conference playoffs is going to be a little bit more different than the West. It's going to probably be a little bit more slower, a little bit more physical. You're not going to be as much shot making as you more accustomed to seeing. You're going to see a little bit more scrappiness on the Eastern Conference side of things. When we talking about basketball and when we talking about, you know, hooping. So, Joel Embiid, if he can be able to stick out good out this whole series, I definitely think this is going to be a 6-7 game series, because he's going to be able to pose his will whenever he wants. Even if he is 75-60% of what he is, you know, that left side, him being one-on-one, when you got a player like Tyrese Maxey who showed up big time yesterday, you got, you know, role players that you can depend on, like Nicholas Batum, you know, Tobias Harris, he played fairly decent yesterday. You still got Kelly Oubre, you know, Kyle Lowry. He not somebody who would just, you know, gonna be a stat sheet stuffer, but he is somebody who know how to win ball games. Who, you know, he's a champion. He done been in high leverage games, high leverage moments. He's been to a finals, been in Eastern Conference finals, and so he know what it takes to get over the hump. He just one of those. He's one of those veteran players that just know how to win. You know, a lot of his damage don't be showing up in a box score. Sometimes it can, but he do all the little things, take the charges. He's the one diving on the floor, diving on the ground for loose ball, coming up with 50-50 ball. You know, he doing all the intangibles and the little things that you need from a type of veteran point guard, and the type of presence that, you know, he brings, especially come playoff time. And with him having that type of relationship with Nick Nurse already, would kind of made it a little bit better. Too, because now he got a coach where he know who he going to war for, and they understand the objective and the goal, the task at hand. And I definitely like this matchup, but like I said, the New York Knicks, they won game 1. They slid out of there. Jalen Brunson didn't have the best games, but the type of team that he got around him, Dante DiVincenzo, he knocked down some big shots, which he been doing all season, having a career year, shooting the ball from deep. Josh Hart, he having a career year, shit, period. Hell, that nigga look like the ultimate role player. And that boy can turn into prime Shaq. That boy gonna be aggressive as hell on the defensive end. Hey, he doing all the intangibles too, in which you need a player like Josh Hart come playoff time. You know, those are the type of role players that, you know, that can make and break series. And, you know, I know the New York Knicks, they happy as hell to have Josh Hart on their side. You know, with them getting Mitchell Robinson back too as well, he gonna make it a little bit difficult on Embiid, which he kind of did. And with him being physical, being that vertical presence, making Embiid make tough shots over the top of him, not fouling him, making him get to the line, you know, letting him catch a rhythm. You got to make everything difficult with Embiid, with having that type of big body and the type of skill and finesse that he already got. You know, so that's why I say you need a player like that to be able to, you know, be able to slow things down, to make it a little bit hard on them. Because if you let Joel get 30-40 points efficiently, you know, you're going to have a long day in hell. especially when you got Tyrese Maxey over there, who's a streaky shooter. You know, a young up and coming player who's trying to prove himself, being a number 2 guy, or being, you know, taking that next leap into getting out his own shell, getting out his own box. You know, this is his first playoffs, his first playoff series, being kind of like one of pivotal players on the team. You know, he's the second option of a team that's trying to win a championship now. You know, it ain't no Harden there. You know, Embiid is hobbled, so his play need to elevate, and that's what I'm looking for out of Tyrese Maxey this playoffs, this series, to be able to elevate his game, to be able to, because this is still a winnable series for the 76ers. Regardless of, you know, if Embiid is playing tonight, I still think that the 76ers have a good shot at winning this series, simply because Julius Randle is not playing, and you got to think, over a 7-game series with the type of adjustment, hey, that's what the playoffs is. It's a game of adjustment. Just because you lose game 1, it's not the end of the world. You have to win 4 times in 7 games, which, you know, the New York Knicks, it can go either way. That's why I definitely got this series going 7 games, because I can see the Knicks winning 4 games. I can see the 76ers winning 4 games in this series. But it just comes down to who wants it more and who is going to be that X factor player in this series to be able to, you know, be the determining factor of who actually come out on top and victorious in this series. But with all that being said, like I said, the New York Knicks, outside of Jalen Brunson, I don't just think, you know, when it comes to a playoff atmosphere, you know, hopefully next game they can understand that you throw all these different defenses that Jalen Brunson, obviously he the head of the snake, the number 1 scorer on that team. With Julius Randle being out, not playing in the playoffs, you have to make somebody else beat you. And I understand Dante DiVincenzo, he can shoot, like I said, he having a career year shooting a 3. That's why you have to be able to make Dante, whenever you do, you know, get the ball out of Jalen Brunson's hand, you can't just leave Dante DiVincenzo open for 3. You have to make him make plays off the bounce. That's if I was Nick Nurse, that's what I would do. You have to be able to make Dante DiVincenzo a little bit more uncomfortable. Make the players around on the New York Knicks, make them a little bit uncomfortable. Make them do things that they not accustomed to doing. Like Dante DiVincenzo, we know he can shoot the 3. We know he having a career shooting 3 from downtown. Hey, run him off that 3-point line. We got a big boy Joel Embiid down there who gon', you know what I'm saying? See if he can be able to make a 15, 17 foot jump shot, pull up, over contested defense, do all these things. Have them make them use their brain, make them make plays instead of just having the plays be made for them. If you get what I'm trying to say. If I'm Nick Nurse, that's what I would do for the New York Knicks. Because, you know, Jalen Brunson, he didn't have the best game, but you still end up finding a way to lose this game. I just don't think that's a good sign right there. Because, you know, Jalen Brunson, the type of season that he had, he still can give you 30 points efficiently, give you 40 if need be. He's just one of those players. Even though he was 7-24, he made shots, he made plays down the stretch whenever his team needed him to be. And sometimes that's what playoff basketball is. Hey, fuck the efficiency. We don't care about if I went 2 for 100. As long as that second made basket, if I was 1 for 99 and I make this second basket of the game and was game winner, we don't care. We won the game. We moving on. So that's what playoff basketball is. You just come down to make a miss. Who wants some more? And the little things, free throws and all of that. But that's all I really got to say on the New York Knicks and 76ers game. Like I said, the Eastern Conference, the playoff games is a little bit more dull, a little bit more dry. See, even though the playoffs is a little bit more half-court oriented, but I just think the overall pace from the two conferences still, with that being said, with the playoffs being a half-court game, is a little bit slower on the Eastern Conference side. You know, the game a little bit more slower, a little bit more grind out, a little bit more physical. Not as many points gonna be put up. The shot making on display not gonna be as good as you will see in the Western Conference teams. You know, where, you know, Western Conference so stacked and loaded with talent over there, and I think that's got a lot to do with it. Where the East, their teams is more built on having 1 or 2 guys, then building your team around, you know, the perfect fit of role players that can be able to play around, you know, your star guys and things like that. So you're gonna be able to need that going forward and things like that. So I don't know, but you know, Sixers, they down 1-0. They play again. I think everybody that played yesterday, they play again tomorrow for game 2 to be able to make an adjustment. And I'm curious to see what type of adjustment that Nick Nurse make heading into game 2. What I would do, you seen a lot of success going on with Joel Embiid when they been able to catch the ball from free throw line extended, which that is his game anyway. But once you get him on that left block, be able to make plays out there, I think that's gonna be the difference. You're gonna need guys to be able to make shots. So Nicholas Batum, the type of game that he had to play in, we're gonna need a series of that. Might not need 20 points, but we gonna need you to knock down at least 2-3. Tobias Harris, we need your level to play to step up. Tyrese Maxey, we need your level to play a step up. See, Tyrese Maxey, this is the type of series where I need Maxey to average at least 24 to 25 points a game. Where we're gonna be able to say that he's one of the next up and coming, he's the second option of a championship team and things like that. This is his time to showcase that. Like I said, it's just one game. I'm not here to overact to anything. I'm just reacting to the game once. And from what I just seen, Tyrese Maxey, let's see what Tyrese Maxey did in game 1 yesterday. Because I don't have the stats just right here sitting in front of my face. Hey, Josh Hart had 22 points, 13 rebounds. You get 22 points from Brunson. McBride, you get 21. And that's where they lost the game right there. You can't have McBride getting 21 points if I'm Nick Nurse and the Philadelphia 76ers. You got to cut that down. And McBride get 10, 11 instead of 21, you win this game. Now you go and look, Tyrese, never mind. Maxey did your thing. You had 33, Embiid 29. You need more from Tobias Harris. 7 and 9, that's not gonna cut it. And I definitely think, I'm not gonna lie, this is the make or break playoff run for Tobias Harris. Last 3 playoff runs that I've seen from Tobias, hey man, that boy, he ain't worth it. He not worth it. And I'm saying this simply because this was you ultimately picked over to have on your roster over Jimmy Butler. And we expect, and y'all was expecting, and us as fans expecting, basketball watchers was expecting Tobias Harris to be able to, these past several postseasons, we expecting this level of expectation to Tobias Harris to meet the requirements and do all these things, which he haven't been able to do. So like I said, especially coming into this playoff series with Joel Embiid being hobbled, you need Tobias Harris you need to be able to rely on Tobias Harris to be able to come up big in any type of games, in any type of moments, in any type of playoff series. This is game 1. Yes, I know he definitely can have a bounce back game and things like that, which he need a bounce back game. I think this series he is the X factor. He's the X factor that I was talking about from Josh Hart or McBride. He might be the X factor for the New York Knicks. But for the Philadelphia 76ers, Tobias Harris is going to be the X factor if they want to be able to get out of this series. Because he is one of the outside. What Tyrese Maxey going to give you. You know what Joel Embiid going to do. Them are your 2 best players. That's the head of the snake. Now, you need a third option. He's supposed to be that third option over these last couple seasons and things like that to be able to get them over the hump. This is your time to shine, Tobias. I don't know how many years left you got on your contract to do all this and do all that, but we need you to average at least 15, 17 points this series and score the ball efficiently. Defend at a high level. Rebound. We need you to play your best basketball this postseason run, especially with Joel being hobbled. We know we all looking for a championship. This is the process. Everybody, you got Tyrese Maxey going out, getting you 33. We need you, Tobias. 7 points not going to cut it. We need you to be a consistent. We need you to be a steady type of presence. You a veteran now. We need that veteran presence, that steady presence. If you would have had 15 instead of 7, or at least just cut down on McBride 21 points and just have him 10, y'all win this game. Those are the small margins of error where you can go back and look. You look at tape and be like, okay, man. Obviously, we sit in the house and we doubling Jalen Brunson. We doing all this. But we have to be able to limit the others. We can't let the others beat us. But in the same breath, it's just game 1. The others that you hoping that beat you, and they do beat you one game, that's the beauty of it. You have to do it game 1, game 2, game 3, Game 4. You have to win. You have to win 4 times, not just one game. Your role players have to show up through the whole totality of the series instead of just one game. That's the difference between regular season and postseason. You know, some of these young guys, they get a little tight. You know, they're not as free as they was in the regular season and the postseason. You know, possessions matter. All these possessions count. We can't just have you just chucking up shots whenever, you know what I'm saying? We never know what type of shot we can be able to get down from. Get up, just get a shot attempt up. We can't turn the ball over, do all these things. So, Tobias, yeah, it's on the clock, boy. You know what I'm saying? Because, that's all I'm going to say. You on the clock now. Moving on, the Denver Nuggets versus the Los Angeles Lakers. Let me see. Because I don't know where I really want to go with this. You know, obviously the Denver Nuggets, they took a 1-0 lead. They won yesterday. It was a good game. You know, they were trailing for most of the parts of the game. I think once like third quarter, like 4 minutes left into the third quarter, that's kind of when you seen the Denver Nuggets kind of, you know, I'm trying to think of the word. I'm trying to, you know, with 4 minutes left into the third quarter, that's kind of when like the shift of the game, you know, the Denver Nuggets kind of had turned it on. Whenever Jamal Murray had came back there, he got subbed in for Nikola Jokic. He went to the bench. Jamal Murray, he came in and started hitting some big shots and started giving him some momentum. And that's kind of what, you know, tied the momentum a little bit. You know, LeBron just went to the bench. Yeah, if I'm remembering this correctly, yeah. But you already know what the Denver Nuggets stand for. We know what type of team they are. They are high-octane offense. You know, they are well put together. You know, they play together. They got the type of continuity. They're a well-oiled machine on the offensive side of the ball. And defensively, they are team defense. They know how to rotate. And, you know, they got guys that are willing to play on the perimeter, defend at a high level on the perimeter. You know, Aaron Gordon, he did get in foul trouble early, which he's going to be important in this series. If we're going to be able to, you know, contain LeBron, you know, help off AD a little bit more. You know, they'll be able to just throw bodies at him. And obviously, you got KCP, who a lot of people in their eyes, you know, me too, more or less. You can kind of give him an all-defensive team this year. He definitely been working his ass off. He definitely been defending his ass off as well. You know, him being that high-level role player as well. With, like I said, with the Denver, the best thing that ever happened to the Denver Nuggets was them winning the championship last year, because now they know what it takes. And having that what it takes, that know-how, you know, it kind of trumps a lot of things when you already got a talented ball club that they got already. You know, the type of continuity. They are well coached as well with Mike Malone over there. So it's gonna take a lot. It's gonna take a full 48 minutes to beat the Denver Nuggets. Whenever you play the Denver Nuggets, you got to play from the first tip all the way to the last buzzer. You know, you have a 5, 6, 7 minute stretch of, you know, not playing good basketball. That 5, 6 minute stretch, can get out of hand just like that. It can get ugly. You might be up 10, 15 points. Like I say, you go into that 5, 6 minute, 7 minute stretch without playing good basketball. Now you might be down 10, 12 points. And I will say this, in the playoffs, and especially on the for the Lakers, when you're on the road going up against a defending champ like that, who got a, you know, especially when the tough gets going, the going gets tough. The Denver Nuggets have an identity. They understand that 2-man game with Jamal and Yo damn near unstoppable. Whenever they get like 6 minutes and under in crunch time, or whenever they need a basket, they know they can go right into that action. And the teammates and role guys around, they understand how to play off that. They'll be able to knock down a 3. They can space a 4. They can score. They got different guys that can do different things. They're a good cutting team as well. So like I said, for the Los Angeles Lakers, you have to play for the totality of the game. And coming into this series, we already said the biggest X factor was going to have to be the guard play. You know, Austin Reeves or D'Lo was going to have to come in and try to match Jamal Murray. You know, if Jamal Murray had come in, let's see me. I'm not, like I said, I like to watch the games. I didn't write down under the stats because I seen it with my own eyes. Sometimes I don't be catching all of them. But Jamal Murray was 9 of 24. Yeah, he did have a double-double. You know, 22 and 10, 6 rebounds. Had an off night in which you still didn't win that game, and you definitely had opportunities to win. You was up until, like I said, that 3 minute, 4 minute mark and through the fourth quarter. And then you kind of let it slip away because the Denver Nuggets, they did what the Denver Nuggets do, play their type of brand of basketball. And they got out there on you and kind of made the game a little more difficult. But like I was saying, coming into this series, we already said that D'Lo need to be who D'Lo was in the playing game, who he was the last month and a half of the season. If the Los Angeles Lakers can get that D'Lo, there's no reason why they shouldn't win this series. I'm not gonna say there's no reason why they shouldn't win this series, but there's no reason why this series shouldn't be competitive. I say if D'Lo can do that, it should be at least a 6-7 game series, bare minimum. Okay, if Jamal Murray averaging 22, 23, 24, 25 points a game. D'Lo can give you 17, 18. Austin Reeves can give you from 12 to 14 points. Because you add those two up, that can kind of just, you got two players and one, they're trying to make up for one player. You already know what you're getting from LeBron and AD. And you already know what you're getting from LeBron and AD. And to a certain extent, that's a problem because you go and look at the minutes and the type of altitude that they playing in with LeBron playing these high leverage moments. These high level minutes. You got AD playing these damn high level minutes. In this high altitude. In the type of in the type of load that they already carrying on the offensive and defensive end, these guys they're exhausting so much energy through the first 3 quarters. Where the fourth quarter now, the Denver Nuggets, they just leaning on you. They just put in pressure. They kind of overwhelm you through over the course of a game. It's kind of like they stay steady, they stay poised, they stay steady, they stay poised. And then once it's time to turn it on, they turned it on them. And that's where, once they got the lead, they never looked back. They had full control of the game once they got control of the game. I think they went up 10, never got under less than 10 after that. And like I said, Rui, he had a fairly decent game. But you need D'Lo. You need D'Lo in this series. You need D'Lo to be the D'Lo in the play-in games. You need D'Lo to be the D'Lo that he was in the last month and a half. If y'all get that D'Lo, I like this series. But, this gonna conclude this episode, man. Like I said, this episode was just reacting to the game ones. It's playoff time, so we're gonna be more frequently with the uploads and with the posting. We got more games today. Another 4-game slate today. A lot of playoffs. We got the Pelicans, Thunder coming on late tonight. First game we got the Miami Heat, Boston Celtics primetime ABC. Right after that, Clippers Dallas, which I can't wait for that game, which is gonna be played at 3:30, 2:30. After that, we got the Bucks Pacers, and late night game Thunder Pelicans, man. If y'all stayed for this full episode, man, I appreciate y'all. Don't forget to hit that subscribe and like button. Make sure y'all comment. It's a lot more content on the way. Hey, a lot more content is on the way. I know, like I said, just bear with me. Hey, man, it's playoff time, so I'm all the way locked in. I'm excited. I can't say it enough, man. But y'all just go ahead, go over there to Apple Music, Spotify. If you got a Spotify, anything, head over there and stream all the audio episodes that's on there. Just go stream them. Stream. You follow me on the social media platforms. OffTheBenchShow _. Everything is all together. OffTheBenchShow. Everything, no spaces, all together with an underscore. TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. Find me on all social medias. Follow me on there as well. We trying to get out there. We almost at 2,000 followers on Instagram. We trying to get TikTok up and buzzing. We almost at 500 subscribers on YouTube. So we slowly but surely we grinding, and we we growing. I just need y'all help a little bit. Help the boy out as we on this journey right now. So make sure y'all head over to the streaming audio platforms. Make sure y'all go ahead and subscribe right now. This is gonna conclude this episode, and we're gonna be back with another one covering the NBA playoffs day 2, game 1. This is day 1 This is game 1 of day 1 of the NBA playoffs, and I'll catch y'all next episode, man. Don't forget to hit that like button, and we out.